There are nights when the silence in your room feels louder than any scream you've ever heard. You lie there, staring at the ceiling, and the question comes again, sharp and relentless. Why everyone else but me? You watch people who barely whisper a prayer, living the love story you've been begging for on your knees. And the ache settles deeper, this feeling that you've been left behind in some cosmic waiting room while life moves forward without you. But what if I told you that this silence is not abandonment? What if the very thing that feels like rejection is actually the most protective love you've ever been given? Because here is the truth that might sting before it sets you free. If the right person knocked on your door today, you might not even open it. Or worse, you would open it, invite them in, and within weeks find yourself bored, restless, convinced that something essential is missing. Not because they are wrong, but because your nervous system has been trained to recognize love only when it comes wrapped in chaos. You see, somewhere along the way, your body learned a dangerous equation. It learned that love equals anxiety. That connection means the spike of adrenaline when someone pulls away. That intimacy is the cortisol flooding your veins as you wonder if you said the wrong thing, wore the wrong outfit, gave too much or not enough. Your system became addicted to the chemical rush of uncertainty, to the dopamine hit of finally getting someone unavailable to notice you, to the relief that follows panic when they text back after hours of silence. This is not your fault. This is what happens when a tender heart grows up in unstable soil. When the people who were supposed to show you what safety feels like instead taught you that love is something you earn through perfection, through smallness, through the constant monitoring of someone else's mood. Your nervous system adapted. It learned to survive. And in that survival, it confused the familiar feeling of walking on eggshells with the feeling of being alive. So when someone steady appears, someone whose affection doesn't require you to perform or chase or fix, your biology doesn't recognize it. It feels flat. It feels like something is missing. Because what's missing is the pain you've come to associate with passion. And God, in His infinite mercy, knows this about you. He sees the way your heart reaches for love while your subconscious reaches for familiar wounds. He watches you pray for a healthy relationship while every cell in your body is calibrated to choose the person who will make you feel like you're not enough. He hears you ask for peace while your entire emotional infrastructure is wired for war. This is why the door remains closed. Not because you are unworthy, not because you are forgotten, but because bringing the right person into your life right now would be like handing a master key to someone who is still learning to open their own locks. The isolation you are experiencing is not punishment. It is preparation. It is the sacred, uncomfortable space where God is performing surgery on your soul's operating system. He is dismantling the faulty wiring that tells you love must hurt to be real. He is teaching your nervous system a new language, one where safety does not equal boredom, where consistency is not the absence of passion, but the foundation of it. Think of it as a recalibration. Your body has been running on the wrong fuel for so long that it no longer recognizes nourishment when it appears. You've been drinking salt water and calling it hydration. And now, in this season of solitude, God is flushing the salt from your system. He is teaching you to crave what will actually sustain you, rather than what will slowly destroy you while feeling intoxicating. This process is not quick. It is not comfortable, because you are not just changing your mind about what you want. You are rewiring your body's automatic responses. You are teaching your amygdala, that ancient guardian of your survival, that it can stand down, that not every silence is abandonment, that not every steady presence is a trap, that someone can stay without you having to shrink. And here is where the shift happens, where the narrative you've been telling yourself begins to crack open. What if God is not withholding the relationship to punish you, but to protect the person He is preparing for you? What if He loves them too much to introduce them to the version of you that would mistake their kindness for weakness, their stability for lack of depth, their commitment for something to test and push until it breaks? What if this waiting room is actually a workshop, and you are being carefully, tenderly rebuilt from the inside out? Because the truth is, the patterns you carry do not just affect you, they ripple outward. The compulsion to recreate your earliest wounds, to seek out partners who allow you to reenact the original abandonment in hopes of a different ending this time, it does not stay contained within your own experience. It touches everyone who tries to love you. It turns their steadiness into a canvas on which you paint your old fears. It transforms their peace into a problem you need to solve by creating drama, by testing their limits, by seeing if you can finally make someone stay who feels like the ones who left. God is keeping you in this season, not because He wants you to suffer, but because He wants to save you from repeating the cycle one more time. He wants to break the chain before you bind yourself and someone else in it. The spiritual pruning that is happening in your isolation is removing the survival mechanisms that no longer serve you. The people-pleasing that helped you navigate an unpredictable childhood, but now makes you invisible in your adult relationships. The hypervigilance that kept you safe once, but now exhausts you and everyone around you. The belief that you must earn love through performance, that your worth is determined by how little space you take up, how useful you can be, how perfectly you can anticipate someone else's needs while ignoring your own. These are being cut away. And it hurts. It feels like loss because, in a way, it is. You are losing the only strategies you have ever known. You are losing the identity you built around being the one who gives, and somehow never receives. You are losing the familiar shape of yourself, even if that shape was formed in response to pain. But what grows in the empty space is something truer. Something that doesn't need to perform to be precious. Something that can receive love without immediately sabotaging it out of fear that it will be taken away. Something that knows, deep in its bones, that you are not too much and you are not too little. You are, in your unadorned existence, enough. This is the shift from anxious attachment to secure attachment. From seeking external regulation, needing someone else's presence to feel calm, to finding your own center. From believing that God or a partner exists to fix the broken parts of you, to understanding that wholeness is something you cultivate from within and then share. And when this shift happens, when your nervous system finally learns that love can be gentle and still be profound, when you can sit in your own company without the frantic need to fill the silence with someone else's voice, then the door opens. Not because you have earned it through suffering, but because you have become ready to walk through it without turning the gift into another wound. The person you are meant to meet is not being kept from you. They are being protected until you can recognize them, until you can see their steadiness as strength, not as something to mistrust, until their consistency feels like home, not like a cage, until their love does not need to be dramatic to be deep. God is not punishing you with this weight. He is clearing the path. He is making sure that when you finally encounter the love you have been praying for, you do not mistake it for something less, simply because it does not activate your familiar pain. He is ensuring that you can hold what He is preparing to give you. So if you find yourself tonight in that quiet room, feeling forgotten, remember this: the silence is not empty. It is full of the sound of your own becoming. The waiting is not wasted. It is the space in which you are learning to breathe without panic, to exist without performing, to know yourself without the distortion of someone else's chaos. You are not being passed over. You are being prepared. And when the time comes, when the door finally opens and the right person steps through, you will not need to ask if they are real. You will know. Not because they make your heart race with uncertainty, but because they make your soul rest in recognition. This is the love worth waiting for. The love that does not require you to abandon yourself to receive it. The love that sees you whole and flawed and beautiful, and does not ask you to be different. The love that your nervous system, finally at peace, can accept without fear. And it is coming, not in your panic, not in your striving, but in your quiet, hard-won readiness. In the version of you that has learned to be still, and know that you are loved, not for what you do or how you shrink or what you fix, but simply because you exist. The wait is not a rejection. It is a resurrection. And you are rising, slowly and surely, into the kind of wholeness that can finally hold the kind of love you were always meant to receive.